Today I'm going to walk you through how to land a high paying job in the next 30 days. This is a guaranteed way for you to land a job. I want you to pay attention. I'm going to show you how to land a high paying job in the next 30 days. Many of you are struggling with getting interviews, right? You're submitting your resume to hiring managers and no one is calling you back and you don't know why. I'm going to tell you why that's happening. Many of you are getting interviews or searching for jobs and you are saying the job market is dead and you're not getting responses or there's not enough jobs to apply to. I'm going to tell you that's not right. That's wrong. I'm going to explain to you why. Okay. Many of you are getting job interviews and you're interviewing with hiring managers, but you're not getting an offer. And I'm going to tell you why that's the case as well and how to fix it. And then many of you are getting low paying offers if you are getting through the interview and you don't know why. It seems like they're lowballing you or these jobs that are paying is just not worth your time. I'm going to explain to you why all of this is happening so you can stop it and begin to take control of your career and get the job you want, doing the work that you want, making the money that you want for as long as you want, whenever you want, wherever you want. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. There are so many people who are struggling with how to find a job. And part of it, and the main reason why, is because you don't understand the process. You don't understand what's happening. In other words, when you submit your resume for a job, you don't know what happens to your resume. You don't understand the pathway. You don't understand, okay, why is it not getting picked up by a hiring manager? Why am I not getting a pre-screen? Why am I not getting interviewed? Like, I'm qualified for the job. Why is that happening over and over and over again? I just applied to this job 5 minutes ago. Why did I just get an email saying they decided to go with someone else and no one ever called me? Right? Like, why? What's wrong? Or you apply to a job, you know you are matched for the job. In other words, you can do the job with your eyes closed. You are a perfect fit for the job. But you're getting a rejection letter and you don't know why. They don't want to talk to you. Or worse, no one's calling you at all. Like, you're not even getting a response back. And you're like, what is happening? I don't know what's happening. Well, I'm going to tell you what's happening. I'm going to be very specific and explain to you why this is happening. Okay? You don't have to be confused. If you know why it's happening, you can then take control and change it. But if you don't know why it happens, right, you won't be able to take control and you won't be able to change it. And nothing will happen in your career. The bills will keep coming. You won't make enough money, right? You will still be in situations that are stressing you out, working with people you don't like. That's going to continue. It's not going to stop. Now, this is not a new thing. This has been happening for a long time. And for those of you who don't know who I am, like, this is your first time in the live and you're like, who is this guy I'm passing by? What's going on? Or you're in your car or whatever, you're just driving and you're like, who is this guy talking? What is he talking about? I'm going to tell you in 15 seconds who I am and why I know this stuff is reality in many of your lives and how to stop it. I've been in talent acquisition and recruiting for 36 years at every imaginable level, all the way up to COO of a staffing agency, right? I design the entire hire process for every company that hires me and I work for. So when a hiring manager needs to hire for a job, they come to my office, sit down, talk to me. I create a job description and the pay ranges, get their approval, and I post it in the applicant tracking system. I manage the applicant tracking system. So that rejection letter that you get coming from the applicant tracking system, I wrote it, I typed it, right? And I change it. And I create the triggers, right, that you get when you apply to a job that's not open or you're not qualified or whatever. When I apply and when I publish that position in applicant tracking system, it goes directly to our career site and then it goes over to you. Okay? So Michael says, I asked for 10% more and I got 3% more. Thank you. You're very welcome. Everyone can get more money, Michael. They just don't know how to do it, right? Thank you so much for following it. I'm glad that you got a 3% increase on your offer just by following the 3-sentence process, okay? So when you apply to that job, whether it's on the job board or a career site, doesn't matter. That resume comes back to the applicant tracking system on the requisition that I manage. And I'm the one that decides whether or not you will or will not have a hiring manager interview. Okay? Now, I know what hiring managers are looking for, so I'm the one that says, yeah, you can interview, no, you can't. Right? That's how it works. And then when you get an offer, I'm the one that does the verbal offer and written offer and gets you to sign it. And once you sign the offer, I walk you through the application and then get you to finish the process and go through onboarding and then new hire orientation and then get started on your first day. The problem that I see, I talk to tens of thousands of people every year. I review hundreds of resumes every week. And I coach thousands of people a year. Everybody has pretty much the same problem. Okay? You need to land a high-paying job. You need to make sure that you're maximizing the offer. But if you can't even get an interview, none of what I'm saying matters. Right? You're not going to get a higher paying offer if you can't interview well. You're not going to interview well if you can't find jobs. And if you can't find jobs and you apply to jobs, but nobody's calling you, none of that's going to happen if you don't fix your resume. Okay? Everything that I talk about hinges on you having a resume that attracts the attention of hiring managers and recruiters. That's step number one. If that part is broken in your career search, you're done. You are never going to recover from it because you don't know what hiring managers and recruiters want to see. Okay? I was having a conversation earlier today about, well, CCW, you're saying you haven't heard back from me regarding a resume review. I can tell you that I do not let the day go by without responding to everybody's resume. You probably sent it to the wrong email address. Okay, I'm just telling you. So look at the email address above my head. It's daniel@dscds.com. Email it to me right now. I have my email open. I'll look at it right now. Okay? You sent it. If you sent it Sunday, you probably sent it to the wrong email address. If you got the email about Fast Track, I usually will send you Fast Track information, but not send you the information about the resume. But if you want me to review your resume, resend it to me and I'll be more than happy to do that. Okay? All right, so Sunshine is not which career opportunity, it's any career opportunity. I'm walking people through why they are getting rejected for their resume, all the way through to how you can get higher paying offers. Okay? So what's the big issue here? The bottom line is you want to get a high paying job. Okay? A job that pays you well. That's what you want. Okay? The question is, how do you do that successfully? That's the question. How can you make that happen successfully? Okay, excuse me, I'm sorry. That's the question. How can you make it happen successfully and not keep getting rejected? Okay, I'm going to walk you through this. Now listen to me. If you are not landing a high paying job in 30 days from the day you start, like getting an offer, okay, I'm going to explain why, but you have to start the process all over again the next 30 days. So if you don't get it right, you will stay in a never-ending cycle. And a lot of you are in that never-ending cycle. Okay? You're applying to jobs. Are you applying to enough jobs, the right jobs? No one's calling you back. 30 days go by. You do that for 4 weeks. You don't get interviews. You don't get hired. I don't know what you think is happening, but the job is going to be closed or filled, and you have to start the process all over again. Over and over and over and over and over again. Pretty much forever, right? It's because you don't know the process. Now, I'm going to tell you how, right? I'm explaining to you why this is happening, but I'm also going to tell you how to stop it from happening so you can take control of your career and get a job anytime you want. Like if you follow what I'm telling you, it doesn't matter when you want to change jobs. You could change jobs whenever you want. You could be working on a job and follow this process and get a higher paying job and leave that. I'm telling you, you can leave that company. I'm going to explain all of this to you, okay? So, but I'm going to explain to you why 99% of the applications that you submit, you get rejected. Now, what does rejection look like? You're not getting called. So nobody's responding. You're sending your resume, but no one's saying anything. Or you're responding, or you're submitting your resume and you get a response in 5 minutes saying, we decided to go with someone else. Thank you. Okay. So, or you are submitting your resume and they're saying you're not qualified, even though you know you're qualified and you could do the job. These are the 3 most common rejections that you get. No one's calling me. I'm getting a fast rejection, or the rejection I am getting is telling me I'm not qualified. Those are the 3 most common rejections you will get. And if you don't follow what it is I'm about to share with you, it will never stop. There's no one else that I've seen on the internet who will show you what I'm about to show you right now. So if this is your first time here, you're asking, who is this guy and what does he do? Again, I've been in talent acquisition for 36 years. The whole hire process, the entire process, from the time a hiring manager wants to hire someone, they come to my office, all the way to when you start on your first day. I own that whole process for the companies that I work for. I design it, own it, manage it. Me and my team, I'm responsible for overseeing that whole thing. So I know when a person comes to me and say, well, Daniel, I'm submitting my resume, but no one's calling me back. I say, well, let me see your resume. Oh, this is why they're not calling you back, because they don't see this. I know you say this, but they don't see this. That's why they're not calling you back. Or a person says, well, I'm getting interviews, but I'm not getting job offers. And I'll ask a couple of questions like, what's your answer to this question when they ask you? What is your answer to the second question when they ask you? Oh, if you don't answer the first 2 questions right, you're out. You don't know that, but you're out. I'm going to tell you why in just a second. Or you can say, well, I get interviews, but I'm getting really low offers and I don't know why. And then I'll say, okay, let me see your resume. And then they'll show me the resume, and I'll say, oh, they thought from the very beginning that you were not worth the highest end of the offer. Just by looking at your resume, they don't think that. Now I'm going to explain to you why. I know I'm saying a lot, but I'm going to explain to you why so you can stop this from happening. All right. So let's get started. Now, if you want to watch this over again, there will be an option. I'll tell you at the end. And many of you in the chat, you're going to say, well, how much does it cost, Daniel? I'm going to tell you at the end. If you want to do any work with me, I'll tell you exactly. I don't expect not one of you to do any work with me at all. I have 0 expectations. I'm going to tell you anyway. Okay, so let's get started. If you're someone and you're saying, okay, I'm looking for a job. You may be working or you want to change jobs, or you're not working and you want to get a job. You want to look at, and you're like sick and tired of getting rejected, or no one's calling you back. If you're tired of that, I want you to type in the chat, I'm tired. I'm just tired of this, right? I'm frustrated. I'm over it. I'm sick and tired of submitting my resume and no one calls me back. Or I'm sick and tired of submitting my resume and in 5 minutes I get a rejection. Did they really even look at my resume? Is this even a real job? I'm sick and tired of them sending me an email that says, well, you're not qualified. Please apply to another job, that you see, come back at a later date. You're just like, I'm sick and tired of it, right? You're over it. You're like, I'm done, right? But you got to have a job. You don't know what to do, right? You just have no idea. You don't know you got to work. You don't know what to do. Okay. John says, I love your videos. Thank you so much. John says, I need help. Ryan says, good evening. I had an interview and it went well and laughed. And they told me I will do great at the job. But when I asked, what did you say, John? When you asked what? When you asked when you want me to start, they said the process, they have other candidates. What do you think? If they tell you, I'll tell you in just a second what that means. If they say we have other candidates to interview, I'll tell you what that means. Okay. All right. So you're tired. I'm over it. Okay. So let me explain to you how to stop it. Okay, please. So what is the process all about? Okay. I need you to understand the power of your resume. Okay. We're not in the old age when I started 36 years ago. The way we used to get candidates is you had to come to our office and fill out a paper application. We didn't have resumes back then, or at least a lot of people didn't. So you filled out your work history on a paper application. You were captive. You were sitting right in front of the recruiter. You were interviewing with the recruiter right off the bat. It ain't like that no more. Those days are over. Okay. So the process now is hiring managers and recruiters can hide behind the screen and tell you, screw you. And you never learn why. They can tell you no to your face and you will never ever learn why. So you end up in an endless cycle of applying to jobs and getting rejected, and you won't know how to get off of that roller coaster. Okay? That happens to hundreds of people I talk to every week. There is an off-ramp, and it's easy to get off and get onto a more controlled ramp train that you totally control and can get literally 2 to 4 job interviews every single week for as long as you want. Okay? You can get as many interviews as you like. I'm telling you. I have a client who is a former NFL wide receiver. Okay, I'm not going to mention his name. He's a client right now. He's a monthly VIP client. And so we had a coaching call. We have a weekly coaching call. We had a coaching call today. And he got on the call and said, oh my goodness, coach, I am so excited. I applied to this many jobs and I got this many responses for interviews. That has never happened to me. Oh my goodness. And I said, do I look surprised? No, I don't look surprised. I already know it's going to happen. like I told you this was going to happen. He might be watching. Don't say nothing if you're watching, bro. All right. So I said, do I look surprised to you? I'm not surprised. I know you're going to get interviews. And it's not because you're a former NFL player. The reason why you weren't getting interviews before is because your resume didn't show hiring managers what I'm about to tell you right now. But I changed his resume to show what I'm about to tell you right now. So he's blown away. Like, I can't believe the results happened this fast. I said the results happened this fast because I know exactly what hiring managers want to see. I'm a recruiter. I manage that process. My job is to make sure hiring managers say yes to your resume. That's my job. That's what I do all day, every day. And I've been doing that for the past 3.5 decades. Okay. So I learned something 28 years ago. And that is what every single hiring manager wants to see. They don't want to hear me say it. Okay. They don't want me to send it in an email. They don't want me to send it to them in a video. They don't even want to have a face-to-face conversation with me about it. I could tell them everything about you. Right? And then send them your resume and they can say, oh my God, Dan, no, I don't want to talk to this person. And I would say, what are you talking about? I just told you everything about this person. And this is what they'll say. But I don't see it on their resume. You guys, you have no idea. You don't. I'm not ashamed to say it. You have zero idea about how simple this is. It ain't hard. Even me, with 36 years experience, working side by side with the hiring manager, telling them how you are the solution to their problem, and I send a jacked up resume, they're going to tell me no, just like they're telling you no. So 28 years ago, I started doing something different. 28 years ago, I started to do something very different. Okay? I added 4 things to your resume after talking to you right up front that answer the question every hiring manager asks on the planet. Every single one of them asks the same exact thing. There's not one hiring manager that I have ever met in the thousands that I've supported, not one who asks something different. Okay? Let me explain it to you. So Shanna says, tell us, please. I'm about to tell you. So I'm going to give you an analogy, and then I'm going to explain it to you. This analogy will take seconds, and then I'm going to explain it to you, and I'm going to show you why you're being told no. Okay? So imagine you live in a house, and you wake up, today is Tuesday, and you have a leak under your kitchen sink, and water is flooding your hardwood floors in your kitchen, right? It is literally pouring out from underneath your sink. You sprung a leak. You don't know how to stop it. So you call around for several plumbers, okay? And let's say 1 hour later, 3 people show up at your door. Okay? One has on a plain white t-shirt and khaki pants with a plumber belt. There's nothing on the t-shirt. The second person standing there has on a black t-shirt, all black t-shirt with khaki pants and a plumber's belt, but nothing's on his t-shirt. Okay? There's a third person who's standing there. They have on a gray t-shirt, khaki pants, and a plumber's belt. But across the top of their shirt in big bold letters, it says expert plumber. In the chat, who are you going to let in your house? 1, 2, or 3? In the chat, tell me. Be honest. Who will you let in your house? 1, 2, or 3? Everybody on all of the platforms. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. 3. That's right. See, the reason why you will let the third person in your house is because you have a problem and a stranger showed up and told you how they are the solution to that problem just by telling you what they do. You didn't even talk to the person. The other 2 people may be completely qualified, way more than this person, have more experience, right? But you don't even want to talk to them because they didn't identify what they do. That's your problem. You're submitting your resume. And you think by showing your work history, you're telling a hiring manager what you do, but hiring managers don't even read your work history. They never even look at it. They look at your work history 1 hour before they interview you, if they interview you. But you're putting all of your time and energy and all of your previous work history, and nobody even reads it. Expert plumber, right? Okay, so that's the first thing. Now watch this. So that person just told you what they do. So you just said to yourself, I want to pick this person. But there's a couple other things you need to understand about this person before you are sure. The second thing you see on that person's t-shirt, remember the other two people, they don't have anything on the t-shirts. But this person says, expert plumber with 20 years experience. Okay, so now, just by seeing expert plumber with 20 years experience, you just realize you have somebody who can solve your problem and they're an expert at it. So you have now established trust without them even opening their mouth. They didn't say nothing. Expert plumber, 20 years experience. Now you trust them. Because remember, your sink is still leaking. Please follow me here. You're not telling hiring managers the level of your expertise. So no trust is built. Zero. That's why they're not picking you. They're trying to fix their leaky sink. You are showing up with your fancy resume. But it's not saying nothing. Certainly not saying what they want, right? Okay, watch this. There's a third thing that they want to know. Now that you know what this person does, you have a level of trust because of the years experience. It says this at the bottom of that. Expert plumber, 20 years experience, serving 15,000 customers. Oh my God. Now you know, okay, if 15,000 people use this person, they gotta be good. And I'm ready to pay this person top dollar. Okay? So you have just told 15,000 people, 20 years experience, expert plumber. You're telling those other two people, get off my porch. Right? Your resume is missing this. There's one more thing. One more thing. I add this to everybody's resume. This is going to seal the deal and make a hiring manager stop and call you in seconds after they read your resume. They're not calling you because your resume doesn't have this. Okay? Please listen to me. If the shirt says expert plumber, 20 years experience, serving 15,000 customers, and then it gives a value statement that says, I help stop your leaky sink from leaking in 5 minutes or less. It's over. Come on in, please. Help me. That person just showed you how much what they bring to the table and the value they're going to add to your life. You need your sink to stop leaking, and they just told you how precisely they can fix it. You don't do that for hiring managers. So they're never going to call you. You might as well be standing at the door with a t-shirt on with nothing on it. No one cares if you have a plumber belt. What do? No one cares if you are in a truck that looks like a plumber's truck. What do? They don't care about that. You think they care about it. How do I know that? Because that's how you create your resume. I look at those resumes and I throw them in the trash. Hiring managers throw them in the trash. Now, I have the ability to scan through a person's resume and tell whether they have value or not, but I would never submit a resume unless it had these three things at the top. And 99% of them, I put it there. Your resume does not show that you are the solution to a hiring manager's problem. So no one is going to call you ever. Now watch this. I'm going to share something with you because listen, I'm going to explain to you why this cycle keeps going. It's going to keep on happening. It's never, with a capital N-E-V-E-R, it's never going to stop if you don't fix your resume. I'm going to explain to you why. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just being honest with you and tell you why. Okay? It's never going to stop. It doesn't matter how skilled you are. Doesn't matter how much experience you have. If you do not communicate and tell the hiring manager what they want to know right up front, they're not going to call you. Hiring managers do not read resumes. They skim and scan resumes. They want to know three things. What do you do? Expert plumber. How long have you done it? 20 years. How good are you at doing it? 15,000 customers, right? Metrics. None of you have metrics on your resume. Cost savings, revenue generated, percentage of this, percentage of that, percentage of this, number of this, number of that. You don't have that on your resume, so you don't. No trust is being built. No one is looking at your level of expertise. They don't know anything about you. They don't trust you. Okay? So that's why we push your resume back, because you're making us fight to try to figure it out. And the only way you're going to get through it is if we don't have a bunch of candidates to talk to. And then if we have a very low count of resumes to talk to, you're going to get the bottom of the offer. Okay? If you want me to review your resume, by the way, I'll review it for free. You can email it to me. It's daniel@dscds.com. I can see all of you are already starting to email your resume. I can see it. Okay, so thank you guys. So I have 20 people who have emailed me their resume. I can, Nick, I see that you sent your resume. I'll take a look at it. Nick, Glennis, Nurin, Zanaya, Deshana, I see you guys are sending your resumes. I'll review it today, and I'll respond to you. So check it out. The review is free. You can email it, daniel@dscds.com. You need to know if your resume grabs the attention of hiring managers and recruiters. You need to know that. If you don't, and I don't have to do it. You don't have to have me do it at all. Have somebody else do it. Okay. Now I have people who say, well, can I just use AI or a resume AI tool? You can. It doesn't work because AI only goes based on the prompt. If the AI tool doesn't know what the hiring manager wants to see, it can create 1,000 resumes for you. It won't matter. I've seen ChatGPT, AI created resumes, and they all the same, right? They give you this long paragraph of a professional summary, and you're hoping that a hiring manager is going to read it. They won't. Remember what I said? The guy is standing at the door. It says expert plumber, 20 years experience, serving 15,000 customers. I help stop your leaky sink in 5 minutes or less. There's not a professional summary. They're not giving you a list of all of the work they've done for all of the people in your neighborhood. They're not doing any of that. They are just telling you how they are the solution to your problem right in your face. You are not doing that. Okay? Clean says, is a cover letter mandatory? Somebody asked me that earlier today. Cover letters are nice. They are not mandatory. No. And you don't send a cover letter when you send your resume with the application. It is nice, depending on the level of your expertise, to send a cover letter when you secure a hiring manager interview. Don't send it before then. It doesn't move the needle at all. Nobody cares. And we don't read it. Okay? So, I don't know if I said your name. Oh, I said your name right. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Not all companies look for certain skill sets. S. James, yes, they do. We don't hire job titles. We only hire skill. That's it. It's your ability to do the job we need someone to do that gets the attention of hiring managers and recruiters. You can say not all, some, yes. Every single company I've ever worked with for the past 36 years, they want me to find someone to do a job specifically for them. So you can think whatever you want, but I'm telling you, they want a skill. We don't hire job titles. We hire skill. Okay? Please understand. All right. Nicole says, I sent my resume to your email address. Nicole, I'll take a look at it. I guess it's Nick, right? Nick, I guess it is. Okay. So, Miter, very good question. I'm trying to leave teaching. Can I put expert trainer? Yes. You can do curriculum writer, training writer. You can do all of that. Yes. Because the skill of teaching and training is the same. Got it? All right. So I need your help. I love my resume to have work over ATS stuff. Okay. Been at the job too long. Okay. Send your resume to me, John. I'll be more than happy to do that. All right. So let's talk more about this resume because it's important and I'm going to move on. So how did I learn this? Many years ago, when I was a senior recruiter at a customer service call center, we had a 30-person class every 3 weeks. Okay. Just so you know, in recruiting, we do what we call a 4-to-1 ratio, right? We submit 4 candidates to be interviewed to hire 1, 4-to-1. Okay. And so that means if we have to hire 30 people, get 30 people started, I need to submit 120 people over that 3-week time frame to get the number of people we need. So I was submitting your resume the way you sent it to me, and I was including an extra piece of paper, which was my recruiter notes. And hiring managers were telling me, no, I don't want to talk to that person. Send me more people. I didn't understand why. Okay. So I'm going to give you the short version of this story. They said to me, the reason why we're not selecting these people is because I see what you're saying in your notes, but I don't see it on their resume. And because it's not on their resume, I don't know if I believe it. Right. And one of the hiring managers said, the last recruiter that worked here, they were telling us that candidates had this expertise. And when we interviewed the person, they didn't have it. So if the candidate doesn't come with that on their resume. So what I started doing is changing your resume. I would look at you, have a conversation with you, do your pre-screen. I would see that what I'm asking you is not on your resume. And then what I would do is change your resume, call you and tell you I changed your resume, get your approval. Then I would submit you. I went from 2 out of every 10 people that I was submitting to getting an interview to 8 out of every 10 people getting an interview because of that simple change. You didn't change, your resume changed. Your skill didn't change, your resume changed. Your desire to do the job and ability to do the job, that didn't change, your resume changed. If your resume doesn't show the hiring manager what they want, that's the key. They're not going to want to talk to you. So it doesn't matter how skilled you are, they're not going to want to talk to you. Okay? So I'm being honest, I was failing candidates because I didn't understand this 28 years ago. But for the past 28 years, I never submitted a candidate without those 4 things on it. Expert plumber, 25 years experience, serving 15,000 customers. I help fix your leaky sinks. Now I'm going to do this for you real quick. So I'm going to show you how powerful a value statement is. Okay. I want you to put your job title or position in the chat, and I'm going to show you exactly what hiring managers are looking for. What if your resume doesn't match what you now want to do? If that makes sense, it does. I don't know. I don't understand what you're saying, Nicole. Okay, so in the chat, I want you to type in what your skill is or what your title is. Okay, and I'm going to show you what every hiring manager wants to see. Okay, so if and resume writers and AI tools, they don't do this because they don't know to do this. If you don't know to tell it how to do this. Okay, so you're an analyst. What kind of analyst? Okay, tell me. All right, senior sales manager. Okay, so let's do senior sales manager. Okay, so I want you to listen to me now. Okay, so CCW, you're a senior sales manager. Listen to me. So you're going to say, I'm an expert senior sales manager with however many years experience, serving however many customers, right? And then you're going to say this on your resume. And I help you increase revenue by 25 to 40%. I help lead high-performing sales teams of 10 to 50 plus professionals, and I drive consistent growth across competitive markets. You just told the hiring manager how you're going to fix their leaky sink fast. That's why they stop and call you. When we create the resume or you put this on your resume, that's why they stop and call you so fast. Okay? Paralegal. So you're a paralegal. You say, I'm an expert paralegal with however many years experience supporting this many cases or whatever. And I help you manage complex legal matters by supporting 25 to 100 plus active cases, preparing accurate legal documentation, and improving case workflows efficiently. Get it? Senior securities analyst. Okay? So this is what gets you in the door. They don't read no other part of your resume. Listen to me. I'm telling you, I'm being honest with telling you the truth. You're going to say, I'm a senior securities analyst with so many years experience doing XYZ, and I help you improve investment performance by analyzing 50 million to 500 million in portfolios. I identify market opportunities, and I deliver data-driven security recommendations. That's at the very top of your resume that makes a hiring manager stop and call you. The reason why you are not getting called because your resume is absent this information, and they will never call you. Because they have a leaky sink. They need someone to fix it. You showed up at the door and your resume doesn't say jack. So they're not going to call you. And if they don't call you, you are going to continue to repeat this process over and over again every 30 days. Every 30 days. It's not going to stop. Okay? So let me explain to you why that's the case. So, step one, you got to have a resume that attracts the attention of hiring managers and recruiters. So if you don't think your resume, if you are getting rejected, not if you don't think, if you're getting rejected constantly, right? When you submit your resume and you want to know if it needs to be fixed, email it to me. Daniel@dscds.com. Okay? Daniel@dscds.com. Okay? All right. Okay, Paula, clinical mental health counselor, CEO and founder. Do not, if you are looking for another job, just a little bit of advice, never put CEO and founder on your resume, or founder. You can put CEO, but not founder. I'll tell you why in a little bit. Okay, you should never put founder, ever. Owner, founder. Don't ever put that on your resume. If you're looking for a job, a corporate job, okay, people don't value that. I'll explain to you why in just a second. Okay. All right. So let's talk about job search. Many of you come to me and you're like, okay, Daniel, I might have a great resume, but the job market is tight. I'm not going to be able to find a job. And I say, you think the job market is tight because you don't know how to search for jobs. You're searching for jobs wrong. I'm going to prove it to you. Okay. I'm going to show you how many jobs you should be applying to every single day. And I'm going to show you how to apply to those jobs. Now, I want you to leave this in the chat. Just be honest. Okay. We don't know each other yet. Be honest. On average, 7 days a week, on average, how many jobs do you apply to on a weekly basis? Type the number in the chat. How many jobs do you apply to each week? Okay, what's your number? So Nicole says 2 jobs a week. Diallo says 10. Miter 10. Keontae 5. Toya 20. Pickle Boy 4 a day. Sweet Mags 5. Right? Kike Bone 0. Okay. Twice a month. Started out looking and ended up applying to 11 this past week. Okay. Now, let me explain something to you. The average person who thinks they're doing a high volume of applications on a weekly basis, they are applying to 25 jobs per week. But let me tell you what you should be doing. Okay? I want you to please, I want your response in the chat in just a second. How many jobs should you be applying to every single day if you want to guarantee that you're going to get interviews and offers in 30 days? Because by the way, the window that you have to land a job is every 30 days. It's every 30 days. Okay, so listen to me. You should be applying to 100 jobs a day. If that's a surprise to you, type wow in the chat. You should be applying to 100 jobs every day. And I'm not talking about just any job. I'm talking about jobs that match what you want to make in terms of pay, position, location, type of job, level of expertise. I'm going to explain to you how many jobs and why. I'm going to tell you why. I'm not just giving you some random number. I'm going to tell you. You should be applying to 100 jobs every day, 700 a week. If you don't apply to that many jobs, you will never get seen ever, and you won't get a job. So let me explain to you. Now, I'm about to share something with you, but I got to know that you're ready. Okay? I got to know that you're ready. 100 jobs per week. So if you're ready, first 25 people type I'm ready in the chat. I'm about to tell you something. This is worth you sitting on the live. Okay? This is worth it. 25 people real quick. So let me explain to you. This is your resume. Keep typing ready on all platforms. This is your resume. Okay? I want you to just think about it. I want to give you a visual because I need you to understand. So this is your resume. So let me explain to you. When you go to LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn right now. Okay? The problem that you have when you're ready to submit your resume, you're looking for jobs. You don't think there's enough jobs. Problem number one. Right in the search bar on LinkedIn, it says, type in a title, skill, or company. That's what it says, right? Now, many of you, almost every single one of you, you're going to type in a job title. You're going to type in the job title that you used to have, that you currently have, or that you're trying to have. That's what you type in the chat. Everybody does the same thing. Not in the chat, in the search bar in LinkedIn. Okay? That's what you do. Okay? Now, I want to make sure I'm correct. When you are searching for a job, type yes in the chat if you start your search with a previous job title, your existing job title, or the job title you actually want. If that's what you do, type yes in the chat. That's what it says right here on LinkedIn. Type in title, skill, or company. Okay? Okay, now, many people, all of the platforms, that's what you're typing in. Yeah, I start with my job title. Isn't that what I'm supposed to be doing? It tells me to type in my title, skill, or company. Like, shouldn't I be doing that? No, you should not be doing that. No, it doesn't work like that. Everybody thinks LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, and Indeed.com is like Google. It's not. The more words you put in that search bar, the fewer results you're going to get back. That's not how recruiters do it. Okay? You don't want to type in job titles. We don't hire job titles. Okay? So let me prove it to you. Just give me a second. Let me prove it to you. I have a client, Ron. He's a senior sales account manager. He jumped on my fast track program March 5th. Okay? Ron had been out of work for 8 months. He had not gotten an interview. He was 55 years old, 30 years of experience, and he thought he was being aged out of the market. He was desperate. His severance was gone. His unemployment was ending. He didn't know what he was going to have to do. Okay? He had no idea. That might be you. Oh my God, what am I going to do? And you're starting to search for jobs and you're using these tools and you're like, oh my God, I'm not getting anything back. Watch this. So Ron said, can you help me? I said, yeah, I think I can. Yeah. So he jumped on the fast track program. Step 1, I said, I need to fix your resume. I fixed it. Step 2, I need to make sure we got your LinkedIn profile straight because LinkedIn is your social digital resume. Okay. So we straightened that. And then I said, let's upload that resume. And I said, now, this is where you all are messing up. I said, I want you to show me how you search for jobs. So Ron says, well, I'm looking for a senior sales account manager job. Senior sales account manager. So that's what he typed in the chat. I said, click search. Not chat. He typed that in the search bar. He clicked search. I just typed in senior sales account manager in LinkedIn, the job title, which all of you do, and 2,547 jobs came back. I said, Ron, let me give you a dose of reality. Half of those jobs right there, they're closed. He says, what do you mean? I said, if you apply to those jobs, half of them are going to reply to you in less than 5 minutes that say they've selected somebody else. He said, I get that message all the time. I said, yeah, because you're applying to closed jobs. I manage applicant tracking systems. When a job is closed, there's an automated message that comes back. If you apply to a job that has been closed, an automatic message comes back that says, please apply for another job. Thank you so much. We decided to go with someone else. And then he asked this question. Well, why is the job on LinkedIn if it's not open? If you've wondered that before, type how in the chat. Why is this job open then? Why is it on LinkedIn if the job is not open? I'm going to explain to you why. Okay. Then how? Type how in the chat. Help me understand why that's the case. Let me explain it to you. When I am in an applicant tracking system and I publish a job opening, okay, I click publish, click all the buttons, publish. It immediately goes to our company's career site. Okay. And then 6 to 8 hours later, it goes over to LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, and Indeed.com. Okay. Now listen, when I close that job, close it, we filled it. When I close it in the applicant tracking system, it immediately comes off of our career site, but it doesn't come off of LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, and Indeed.com until 30 to 60 days after I close it. That's why those jobs are, even though you think they're open, they're not open because you didn't filter correctly. If that's a surprise to you, type OMG in the chat. So you're applying to jobs that have been filled 30 days ago, 40 days ago, 45 days ago, and you're getting a fast response back that says, thank you so much for applying. We really appreciate it. We decided to hire someone else. If you see another position that you think you qualify for, please apply to that job. And you're over there like, what? They didn't even talk to me. Like, how did they choose somebody else? I didn't even get an interview. That's why it's happening. Because the job is closed. Thank you for the rose, Lucella. Okay, so watch this. There is a way around it. You can navigate around it. You don't have to be applying to closed jobs. You got to know how to filter. Watch this. Number 1, I told Ron, you don't put in your job title. Recruiters don't post positions based on job title, even though there's a job title. You search based on skill, not job title. It has to be one, no more than 2 words. So I said to him, let's go back to the search. Let's type your skill in, sales. Okay. And I said, now if we press enter, let's see how many jobs come back. 481,288. His search 500, I'm sorry. My search 481,000. 2,700, 481,000. That's because I know how The job boards work. All right, now watch this. And then I said, if the average cycle for jobs is 30 days and you don't filter about 30 days, you're not going to find jobs. So I said, we're going to go back and we're going to filter properly. Now we got 350,000 jobs. So these 350,000 jobs, we know these jobs have a great likelihood, 99% chance they're still open. Okay? And then we had to filter further, level of expertise, all the way down to easy apply. And we ended up with 43,000 jobs. The previous week, he only found 18. And I told him, when you don't have jobs to apply to, you have to repeat this process over every 30 days. He says, what do you mean? I said, let me explain to you how it works. When we post a job in our applicant tracking system, we do not go look at candidates until 72 hours later. Because as recruiters, we want to make sure we get enough candidates into the system before we start looking. We don't look at day 1. We wait till day 3, sometimes day 4, before we start looking at candidates. So that's 1 week gone. Okay? 1 week is out already. So the second week is when we actually start doing pre-screens and hiring manager interviews. The third week is when we do final interviews and offers. The fourth week is when the offer is signed and the job comes down. But you don't know that. You don't know that's how we roll in talent acquisition. You have no idea, right? So you can't find a job because you don't know that. You've been busy doing your thing as a senior sales account manager, but no one told you how the hiring process works. Okay? So I told him, that's how you're supposed to search for jobs. You're not searching right. So now that we fixed that, now you can start applying to jobs. Now watch this. Remember I told you how many jobs you have to apply to? 100 jobs every single day, and I'm going to explain to you why in just a second. So I told Ron, I want you to do easy apply. Easy apply takes 10 seconds to apply. Most of you, this is what you're doing. You see a job on a job board and you say, I don't trust this job board. So I'm going to go over to the company's website and I'm going to fill out the application there. You spend 35 minutes filling out an application. The only thing we really want is your resume. You could have spent 10 seconds on easy apply if it's filtered properly and sent that same resume in 10 seconds. So that's what Ron was doing, going to the company's website. Now he's filling out applications in 10 seconds. I said, I want you to fill out 15 applications right now. It took him 5 minutes. He filled out more applications in that 5-minute period than he did in the previous 2 weeks. So I told him, I gave him the plan. You're going to do 30, 30, 30. Okay. And then you're going to walk away. You're going to spend your 30 minutes applying 30 jobs on this job board, 30 jobs on LinkedIn, 30 jobs on Zip, 30 jobs on Indeed.com. You're going to do that every day, first thing in the morning. And then you're going to walk away. You're going to go have a coffee. Okay? And then you're going to come back in the afternoon and you're going to see who responded. Now, he says, Dan, listen. Why do I have to apply to so many jobs? I say, Ron, that's a great question. Here's why. You have to. I said, for every 100 jobs that you apply to, and you're applying to 700 a week, half of those people, this is what's happening with your resume. It's happening to yours too. This same thing is happening to your resume. You don't know it. I don't care how qualified you are. You're not going to stop it. I'm going to tell you exactly what's happening. When you submit your resume, let's say you're the first person who submits your resume. Every person who submits your resume after you, your resume continues to go down, 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 all the way to the bottom of the pile. Because we don't start looking at resumes until 72 hours later. Guess what? When we start looking at resumes, we don't start with the first person who applied. We start with the last person who applied because they're at the top of the list. So guess what? If we find 20 people before we get to you, we will never call you. If that's a surprise to you, type OMG. So guess what? Even though you are the most qualified person in the pile, you never get called because we never get to you. So that's half of the jobs that you just applied to. So the reason why you have to do 700 a week is that's 350 we're going to automatically eliminate. Now you got 350 left. Okay? So of the 350 left, okay, half of those recruiters are lazy. Okay? They're just going to skim and scan, go over it. Even though your resume has everything you're looking for, they're just going to pass it over. That now you're down to 175 resumes, 175 applications. That 175 applications, okay, you are going to get about a 10% return of people who are interested, about 17. And half of those people are going to reach out to you and call you and say they're interested, about 8. Half of those you're going to say, I'm interested in the job, which leads you to 4 interviews each week. But if you don't have the activity, because of all of the numbers that I just gave you, the productivity, meaning the number of interviews, it's not going to happen. So let's use your numbers. Let's say you're someone who is applying to 30 jobs a week the right way. 15 of those, no one would ever see you. So now you're down to 15. Half of those, people are just not going to like what they see. That's 7.5. Now you're down to 7.5, 8 resumes. Okay? Half of those, you got lazy recruiters. Now you're down to 4. Do you understand what I'm saying? Your resume is not a historical document. It's a marketing document. You're supposed to be marketing yourself through the apply process. You're not supposed to be onesies and twosies in it. You can't do that. You have to market yourself. That's what you're supposed to be doing. But you're not doing that, so nobody's calling you. And guess what? Week 1, we review resumes. Week 2, we do pre-screens and hiring manager interviews. Week 3, we do hiring manager interviews and final interviews. Week 4, we do offers. Now the job is closed. You have to start all over again the next 30 days. And that's what's happening. Okay? If you want this to change, and just be honest, I'm about to tell you how much this costs if you want to do it with me. You don't have to do it with me, but I'm going to tell you. If you want this to change, I want to see you type help in the chat. And I'm going to tell you how to fix it fast. Like today is May 19th. If you want to be working on a job making $2,000 to $10,000 more than you're making right now by June 19th, just type help in the chat. I'm about to tell you what you have to do to make that happen. So I see help on all of the platforms. Okay, so step 1, you got to get your resume reviewed. Keep typing help in the chat. I want to make sure I'm talking to the right people. Number 1, you got to get your resume reviewed. All you have to do is email it to me. That's free. I'm going to look at it and I'm going to tell you based on what I see, yes, no, maybe so. Okay, that's first. That doesn't cost you anything. Now let's say once I send the evaluation, you're saying, Daniel, how much will it cost for you to fix the resume? First, if you want to use the information that I share with you to fix your own resume, do it. Okay, it'll be in the email. But if you want me to change it, Daniel, how much will it cost? I know resume writing is expensive. How much is it going to cost? What will my investment be? Okay. I hear people say, well, I spend $250 to $500 to get my resume fixed and nobody calls me back. And I say, well, I'm happy to hear that for you. Okay. You wasted your money. Okay. How much do we charge? People who use our resumes get $2,000 to $10,000 more from every offer because of the way the resume is positioned from the beginning. How much does it cost? $75 to $97. That's it. We have 3 packages. That's it. $75 for our basic, $88 for our mid package, and then $97.99 for our top package, which is a resume plus a cover letter plus a LinkedIn Optimize resume, plus I give you my top 50 interview answers and questions and answers free. All of that comes in that. And if you do the free resume review, you get 5% off. So it ends up being like $93 for the top package. Okay. So that's the investment. Nothing else. One time. Zip in the story. Resume comes back to you in 4 business days or less. That's it. That's all it costs. Nothing else. You might say, listen, I need to get a job, man. Can you help me with my resume and help me get a job in the next 30 days? The answer to that question is yes. I have a fast track program. It's a 30-day fast track program. Okay. On the fast track program, I walk you through getting a job and I hold your hand for 30 days and I walk you through the entire process. Step 1, I fix your resume. Step 2, we fix your LinkedIn profile. Step 3, I train you and show you exactly how to search and find thousands of jobs that match exactly what you want to do. Step 4, you will be on an accountability meeting with the group every Monday. Step 5, every interview you have, you will do a one-on-one coaching session with me for interview prep. Step 6, every offer that you get, you will be on a one-on-one coaching call with me for an offer prep so I can tell you the 3-sentence email you need to send back to get a $2,000 to $10,000 increase. What is your commitment? It's $500, but I let you pay that over 4 months. So I give you a payment plan of $124.25 a month for 4 months. It's $124.25 to sign up. But my commitment to you is I'm going to help you find a job making $2,000 to $10,000 more in 30 days. Okay? Daniel, what happens if I don't find a job in 30 days? We keep holding hands until you do. Will it cost me extra? Not a penny. So what's the investment? $500 to get a $2,000 to $10,000 increase more than what I am right now? Yes. Yeah. What does it cost for me to get the information? Nothing. Just email me the word fast track. I'll send it to you. I'll email it to you. Do you have to do it? No. I will tell you, I only take a few people a month. I can't take any more than 30 people per month. I can't. 7 people a week is all I sign up. That's it. I can't sign up any more than that because I can't help everybody, right? We help 400 people a year get high-paying jobs. Okay? There's a scripture in the Bible that says, faith without works. Faith absent works is dead. It doesn't mean you don't have faith. It just means that you are not showing that you have faith because there's been no action put to it, so you won't reap the benefit of the faith. That's what scripture says. Faith without works is dead. Information without action is nothing but entertainment. That's all it is. You're not going to benefit at all from the information, even if it can help you, right? But you don't do anything about it. Nothing in your life is going to change. How do we change our lives? We find the right information, we apply the right action to that information, and we end up getting results that blow our mind. What's your problem? You have enough information, but you're sitting on your rear end. You're not doing anything. Help is in your face. Doesn't have to be me. It could be anybody. Take action. If you want to be working in the next 30 days, free resume review. Get your resume fixed. If you want a coach to hold your hand for the next 30 days to get a job in the next 30 days, email me the word fast track. That's it. Just email me fast track. I'll respond and I will send you the information on the fast track program. You can go to my website and see it yourself. dscds.com. dscds.com, or you can email me, you can DM me, however you want to reach out to me. I have to go to another meeting right now. I have a LinkedIn training that I'm going to be doing for my fast track clients, but I would love to help you if you want to be helped. Take action right now or nothing in your life will change. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you on the next live. Take care.